Mindscreed. We're here. So, welcome to episode 8 of Mindscreed. Today we have Shingi.
Hi.
What's up, Shingi?
Hi, I'm Shingi.
We're gonna... I don't think we've decided what we're gonna talk about, though.
No, we actually haven't.
What do you want to talk about?
Anything. Literally anything.
Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about what we're talking about on the bus. On the way here.
Okay.
I think you were talking about the Big Bang Theory and God and religion and
Oh yeah. Wow. I don't personally believe in the Big Bang Theory because I don't think that it's possible for something to just come out of nothing, because it's like being in a room and expecting a brand new car to just pop out of nowhere because something somewhere has just happened. So even if there was a Big Bang Theory, something must have caused it. It couldn't have just been a coincidence that it was created to be there, to happen, and then for all this life to then form from just a bang. So I think whatever caused that bang was obviously then something greater and more powerful than the Big Bang itself, because then from causing that bang it caused life to form, then life began, and then it started to expand. But then at the same time, I still don't believe that there was a Big Bang. I just believe that the world was created the way God said the world was created, like. But obviously I think that there was God before He even decided to create our world. So obviously the universe itself was already there. We just didn't exist because we weren't created yet. But that doesn't mean that everything else around us before us didn't exist.
So there was life before us, basically.
Yeah,
the Big Bang wasn't the beginning.
No, it wasn't the beginning, because God was there. We don't know what God was doing in the time that He wasn't creating us, because He still existed. So for all we know, He could have been creating other life, and then one day decided to say, let there be light in one place, and then there was light, and then just like that, in those 7 days of creation, life began. So we began.
Yeah, but evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's evidence for evolution.
Yeah.
And there's evidence that supports the theory of the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
What's the evidence? Like, what is that part of the evidence?
It's never solid evidence though, because they can't physically prove it. They only go based on assumptions. They come up with a theory. The Big Bang Theory itself is not actually a fact.
Yeah,
it's still a theory, because
yeah.
they still don't have the solid evidence to definitely say it happened. So for all they know, then maybe there is a God that did cause that to happen. And then with this evolution thing, I believe in evolution because everything evolves. From even the moment that you're made, you're evolving from something tiny to a person, and you're constantly growing. To me, that is evolving, because you're growing, you're learning. So of course things and people and animals and the world itself is evolved, because it's not even the same shape. Like the continents, they used to be all like just one land, but now they're all different. That to me is evolution, because that's what we now live. But that doesn't mean that the world's always been like that, because that's the time that we're living. In maybe like 100 years, it could be a completely different shape, and the people living then, they'll be thinking, it has evolved because it used to look like this, but now it's changed to like this, but that's what they're used to. So to them, that's normal, but it has actually evolved.
Okay. What are you going to say?
About, so if you believe in evolution and that, are you on about like Darwin's theory?
Yeah, Darwin's theory of evolution.
And you said about the evidence, I'm assuming that's what you think the evidence is, isn't it? But I've heard before that there's like a missing part.
A missing part of the fossil fuels and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about it, Homo sapiens and all that kind of stuff. I don't know the actual words, but there's meant to be like a missing part to where like the caveman kind of skeleton turned to like this skeleton what we have.
Alright.
Yeah. Well, like most evidence, like most presence of previous civilizations, like there's usually no evidence that's left behind. Because maybe some stuff we can't find and we have to like dig up for them. Yeah. That's what like archaeologists do.
Or maybe some things are just not meant to be found.
Yeah, but you know, we're knowledge-seeking creatures, and we just always searching.
But why do we need all that knowledge when we've already created so much? Because when people then just want to know more and more, they want to experiment more. And from these people wanting to know more about how we were in the past, how do we know they might not try to experiment on people now to see what the difference was between those people and the people that we are now, to see what the changes are?
Well, they do, like they make comparisons, and obviously someone's experimenting on humans.
Why have they tried to do physical experiments on people, cut them up and stuff?
They have been doing that. Yeah.
That's not good, that's just
It's not good. That's the thing though, like, so like, it's the same thing like with the hydrogen bomb being built. Like there's a progression in technology that allows us to cause more harm as well as evolve and change in that way. Because you can say, okay, like we've built nuclear bombs, and obviously the bad side about that is it can wipe out a lot of lives.
Yeah.
It's crazy that that can actually split an atom in half, a nuclear bomb.
They already have the knowledge to do that. What can they do if they have more knowledge that they really shouldn't be digging up in the first place, because it's no longer relevant? We can't go back to say, let's take these features from what they had, let's take their strength, because we're different people. We can't change that now, so what's the point?
So yeah, well, we can change. We can like evolve.
But that's
like,
not something we control. So why do we need to know that deep into the point where we're experimenting on other living people because of something that's happened possibly like 1 billion years ago? Because that's not something that they could help evolving, because that's just something that happens naturally. It's a natural process that you can't control.
Like what? Give an example.
Us,
Like our heart beating and the blood going through our veins and that.
we're constantly evolving.
We can influence it to an extent.
Yeah, like we're living longer.
Yeah,
now.
how you live, that's based on your lifestyle and your choice of lifestyle. How long you live really, and how well you evolve and grow as a person.
And also how the environment around us grows as well. Because people back in the day were dying faster because there was still like diseases that would get you, or just in not as safe environments as we are in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucked. Imagine that back in the day, you've got a cold and the doctor's like, yeah, you're dead.
You go in for like a splinter or
You
something.
ain't got no medicine or nothing, you're just dead.
No paracetamol.
That's funny though. It's not funny, but it is. It's crazy, isn't it? You know how you were speaking before about the bang or something, and us coming out of something that isn't there or wasn't there? Something along the lines of that.
What do you mean?
About nothing. About something coming
Something
from
out of
nothing.
nothing, yeah.
Do you know that, what's that guy? I can't remember his name, but he invented the atom. And then they tried to say what the atom looked like, so it was a ball, and then it had like circles going around.
Yeah.
And then like, I think the modern day studies of an atom is nothing. So if we're trillions of billions of atoms right now, we are nothing coming out of, we are something, the illusion of something coming out of nothing.
See, now you're getting me into like this really like deep stuff when you start talking about atoms and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I believe when we talk about creation based on atoms and energy. I believe that everything has an energy that it gives out, because there's so much happening. Like in our body right now, there's billions of reactions happening, things forming, new cells forming, but we don't know it's happening, but there's thousands of things happening, and it all just works perfect. And all it is to do with atoms is really attraction. One atom attracts to another, they form something. So based on that, then I'm thinking, if everything is formed of energy and attraction, then we can attract things to us, but then we can do it through our thoughts. Because if everything is energy and gives off if it gives off a vibe, a frequency, everything gives off a frequency, I believe. Your thoughts give off a frequency.
Well, like a universal vibration type thing.
So when you think, it's like, for example, with parents and older people, they think about debt a lot. So their frequency is constantly about debt. Even though they're thinking, I don't want debt, the universe can't decide what you want and what you don't want. All it knows is what you're giving off, and all you're giving off is the frequency of debt. So you're thinking about debt, then you end up in more debt.
Debt, oh yeah.
And then there's the same thing when they think about bills. They're constantly like, oh, there's too many bills. And then what do they constantly get? More and more bills. It's because simply it's what they think. So because they're on that frequency, I just think if they change that frequency and decide to think, okay, I don't get that many bills, and genuinely believe that and stay on that frequency, then what's stopping them from not getting so many bills? Same thing with money.
Well, they have responsibilities, yeah.
To do with bills.
Yeah, but we also have responsibilities to actually consciously be aware of our thoughts every time we're transmitting them out, innit?
Because then, when the thing is, then they're just reacting to what's happening to them. When they think about bills, they get bills. Then when they get those bills, they're like, oh my gosh, I've got a bill. They think about more bills, so then they just keep getting more and more. Whereas if...
Okay, so the bills are coming because they're thinking about this.
Yeah. So why not say, okay, I'm going to attract loads of money. And believe it and tell that to yourself every single day. I'm going to attract loads of money. Because when you say I am, you're creating it. Yeah, because you're saying that's what you are. You're not saying that's what you're going to be. That's what you were. It's what you are. So when you say I am going to attract money, you are going to attract money because you've said that, and then you're on that frequency where you feel good about money. So because you're feeling good about money, you're giving off a happy vibe, a positive vibe, so you get more money without even realizing you're actually attracting so much more just because you've changed the way you think about that thing. But then when you feel bad about money, you think, it's like if you see a car and you like that car, then you think, oh, I like that car, but it's too expensive. That's what you're constantly telling yourself, and without even realizing it, that car to you, you will never have enough money for that car because it will always be too expensive. Why not say, I like that car, I can afford that car? Then what's stopping you from affording it? Because if you have the power to say, that car is too expensive for me, and that car generally turns out to be too expensive for you, then what's stopping you from saying, that car is not too expensive for me? That car then is not too expensive for you, you can have that car.
Right, so it's your thoughts that
create
change
your life.
Your behavior in order for you to...
Your thoughts create your life. What you think is what you are, which is why so many people, their feelings and their thoughts, they're just on autopilot. Most of the time they don't know what they're thinking, they're just not even aware of their thoughts, and they just drift off into this world where they're thinking about all the things they don't have, or being depressed. Then they'll find themselves in this depressive state, and then they'll think, oh my gosh, why is life like this? And the more they carry on to do that, the more their life just feels like they're just in this horrible phase. And it's not a nice feeling, because that's not a nice feeling. You're giving off more of a negative vibe, so you keep attracting more and more negative things because of how you've started to think. But then if you start to think, every day for me is a good day, I wake up happy every day, I have great days, you don't even think about depression. Everything's you're just happy. You find yourself in situations that really should make you unhappy, but because at the start of the day when you woke up, you said to yourself, today is going to be a great day, you've already given off that positive frequency the first thing in the morning without even realizing it. You just said in your thoughts, today will be a great day. And if you generally stay on that, nothing will ruin my day, today will be a great day, your day will generally be great. Even if it rains, even if something bad happens, you always try to find a positive side to every single thing that happens to you. And like that day will be a good day.
But a lot of people don't think like that.
Yeah, because...
we're not really programmed to think like that.
Yeah. They react to situations as they happen to them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, if you wake up in the morning and you're happy, and then you're late, you miss the bus, and then you're late to work, straight away you've gone from that happiness to then a negative vibe. So you're now sad because you're pissed off. You're like, oh my gosh, I've missed the bus, I'm gonna be late. You're now focusing on the fact that you're gonna be late and you've missed the bus. So that straight away is gonna make you not feel good. Whereas in that moment, you can't change the fact you're late. You can't change the fact that you've missed the bus. That's gone. What you can do in that moment, you have a choice. Whether you want to then focus on the fact that you've missed the bus and you're late, or you can change it. You can, personally, I'll put my earphones in and I'll play my favourite songs because...
What's your favourite song?
I can't do it. That's like asking me to pick who's my favourite child if I had kids. That's bad. I like them all too.
Last one's always the favourite.
Really? I'm the only child, I wouldn't know. But yeah, when you put your earphones in and you play a song that you really like, you cannot play that song and feel bad because you love that song. So in that moment when you're listening to that song or that music, you're giving off a positive vibe. So you're then happy without even realising you've completely changed that situation that could have completely ruined your day, and you've managed to stay on your positive frequency. So now you're attracting more good things because you're giving out love. And when you give out love to that song, you give out a positive frequency, so you stay on that positive frequency. When you get to work, you're late, you apologize, yeah, whatever. Maybe your boss might be angry at you, but okay, she's angry at me. Life goes on. I'm at work now. She should be grateful that I'm actually at work and didn't call in sick. So I'm just gonna do my job and go home. Do your job, you go home. Then the thing with people then is that maybe they'll get home and maybe, I don't know, the water's cold or something, or they've got a bill. And even though they've been on that good vibe all day and they've tried to make their day as positive as they can, now that's gonna ruin their day and it's nearly the end of their day. And just like that, they've just given a negative frequency. So at some point in their life, the next day and the next week, something negative is going to come back to them because that's what they've given off without even realizing it.
So would you say that's the only way people grow emotionally? And
yeah, you just have to be aware of your thoughts because...
But isn't it important as well to focus on the negative sometimes? Because there's still lessons to be learned in the negative situations you find yourself in. Negative
situations, sometimes they just happen. They're things that are out of our control.
Yeah, but even some negative things that are, like, we don't always give off positive energy. Sometimes you give off negative energy, and that has consequences as well. But that's not just the situation, it's because you were negative yourself inside you.
Yeah.
That's
why that happened, yeah.
And that's like applying to like behavior, is what I mean, not just like the attitude and stuff.
Because I remember once I read it said that when it comes to negative things, if you look at your life right now and you look at the relationships you have with people, where you are with your job, where you are financially, if it's negative, that's because that is a reflection of of your thoughts and your feelings about that specific thing. So if you have a friend that, you know, maybe you think, oh my gosh, they're so annoying, that person too is constantly gonna be annoying, and that's why that reflects back on you, because you keep giving off a negative vibe about that person. Why not change it to, this person, they always make me laugh, you know, even though they're a bit annoying, they always make me laugh, even when I'm in a bad mood, they always make me laugh.
What can you learn best from them as
well? That person will always make you laugh.
What you can learn from them as well. And I think people are unconscious to the fact that no one on this planet can piss you off except yourself. You unconsciously give them position to piss you off. If you're wearing a crown, you're a king or a queen, you're unconsciously taking your crown off and putting it in their hands and then saying, you pissed me off, when really no, you inside have pissed yourself off.
See, that's what I think about mental health. That's what I think about depression, that's what I think about anxiety. With anxiety for me, I think when you find yourself in a situation that makes you anxious, it's your reaction to that situation that makes you anxious. So if you think, okay, this has happened, and you think, oh my gosh, this is making me feel anxious right now, you are going to feel anxious and you are going to experience anxiety. Whereas if you said, okay, so this has happened, I'm not comfortable, but I'm going to do something right now that's going to make me relax, that's just going to make me calm down, whether that's listening to music or whether that's leaving the situation, you've removed that position for you to find yourself in a situation where you're anxious. Just like with depression, if you go to therapy and constantly talk about your depression and what makes you depressed, you will constantly stay depressed. That's why people are like, therapy doesn't work, I need medication. Because it doesn't work. You're talking about what's making you depressed all the time. That's all you're focusing on. That's all you're thinking about. So of course you're going to attract more situations and people that are going to make you depressed. But then why not go and talk about the things you love instead of focusing on the things you don't love? Because you just get more of what you don't love.
What would you
say? That's actually a therapeutic method that clinical psychologists use. It's called a positive emotive therapy. Yeah, so they actually help you change your behavior in like the situations you face, right? Mm-hmm. So you say you come in one day, you talk about your depression and all the situations that make you depressed and all that. And like you said about how you interpret it, whether you have the choice, whether to see it in a positive way or a negative way. So the clinical psychologists will encourage them to focus on what they find positive about that situation.
It works.
Yeah, and that's a really good technique.
What would you say for people who can't seem to get out of their mind?
That's basically when people have lost control of their thoughts. I think it's important for people to always be aware of what they're thinking. Throughout the day, I think it's good to say to yourself, how am I feeling? Because in that moment, you are saying, I feel good. Or you're saying, I feel bad. And when you're saying, you're declaring it. And that's basically what's going to happen. So in that moment, if you take that little moments in the day to say, how do you feel? And you say to yourself, do you know what? I feel great. You are going to feel great because you've said that. And you shouldn't find yourself in a position where you're thinking about things and not even realizing you're thinking about them. I think people should think about the things they want instead of the things they don't want. Whereas in most people, what they tend to do is focus on the things they don't want. That's what they think about. Whereas if you want a massive house, for example, why not focus on that house? Why not think, instead of focusing on all these things that are going to make you miserable, focus on the one thing that you know that you really want in your life that's going to make you happy. Because there's no way that you can think about that house and feel sad. Because every time you will think about that house, you're going to be happy. So why not think about it, focus on it. Think about yourself in that house, picture yourself in that house. And in your head, get to the point where you've convinced yourself that this is my house. And because you've given off that frequency of wanting that so much, to the point where you're thinking about it all the time and you're giving off the love for that house, which means you're giving off a positive frequency, then that comes back to you. It's like with homeless people. I've read about homeless people that have changed the way they think and just thought, I want this house, and that's all they've thought about. And within 3 months, this man had his dream house. He got a job, but he was homeless. But in 3 months, he got a house. From being homeless on the street, he got a good job, and he managed to live in his dream house that he pictured in his head, simply because that's all he decided to think about. Of which before, he probably found himself being homeless because he focused on being homeless. He probably started thinking, oh my gosh, I can't afford my rent. Then what happens? He can't afford his rent. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get evicted. Probably got evicted. Oh my gosh, I'm going to find myself homeless. And now you're homeless. It's literally, your life is literally a reflection of everything that you think about. But so many people don't even realize that your thoughts have the power to create. Because if it's the same to do with how the world was created, it all started to do with something powerful. Whether or not it's the Big Bang Theory or God, that thing that caused that bang was a powerful thing. And we were created from that powerful thing. Because we are a result.
It was like a cosmic fault.
Yeah. We are a result of that powerful thing. So we have that power in us to create through our thoughts. It's the same with the religious side. God said, let there be light. And there was light. So why can I not say, if I was created from someone so powerful to say, let there be light, and there was light, why can I not say, I can attract loads of money and not attract loads of money?
So
simply because of the way I think.
You have the potential to
because
something.
We are a result of something so powerful. Whether or not it was 2 atoms that crashed, for that to form this much life, it had to be something powerful. And we are a result of that. And I think that somewhere in us, without even realizing, because our thoughts are the only thing that we control. And we don't even control like 98% of our thoughts. It's all in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind basically creates your life. So what's really at the back of your head, what you really focus on, is what you're thinking about, it's what you're dreaming about, it's what you're constantly thinking about, and it's always in your head without even realizing it.
Yeah, your mind's like a garden. Your
Yeah.
thoughts are the seeds. You can either grow flowers or you can grow weeds.
I'd rather grow weed.
That would be a great garden.
I know.
I wouldn't get anything done though. You know how you're saying about people wanting like the house or this or that?
Mhm.
What about when they overly obsess about that and they never find the fulfillment or happiness within the present moment? They're too much ungrateful with what they have now.
See,
They always want something else.
that's the thing.
So would that be a positive thing or a negative thing then?
That's a negative thing,
I think
but
you need
people
balance,
don't realize it, because when you become obsessed with that thing to the point where it's like you're literally obsessed with it, it's no, you're constantly, because you're giving off the vibe of being obsessed with this thing. You don't have that thing, so you're obsessed with it. So because you're constantly giving off that vibe, you're constantly not going to have that thing and constantly stay obsessed with it. Whereas then you could say, okay, I'm going to have this thing. You don't have to be obsessed about it. You just know that that thing already, believe that it's yours. And
Or maybe
you've
that
already
believing
given that
is the
frequency.
obsession.
Huh?
Like obsession is like an intense focus on that thing, isn't it?
It depends what
So-
kind of obsession we're talking about. Because there's an obsession where it's like you're focused and that's all you want. And there's an obsession where it's like you're crazy obsessed.
That's still obsessed though. Like you're still obsessed about it. If you're obsessed
But
about
you're crazy obsessed about it. You're not obsessed about it in a positive way. You're obsessed about it in... It's like with celebrities, when they have people obsessed with them, that's not a good thing. But that person, because they're constantly thinking those people are obsessed with them, they keep attracting these people that are obsessed with them and they keip breaking into their houses. That's not a good thing. But then you have other people that could be obsessed with them, but they're obsessed with them in a sense that they just like their music and they just... There's a difference, and you could make someone happy through your music. That's how someone could be obsessed with you, because you make them happy through that music. That's a good thing. Then there's obsessed, whereas in someone's breaking into your house because they're obsessed with you, because you're thinking about... Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't comment.
Oh, what's your other question? The one that you literally just asked me. I think I forgot what it was. But there's something I was going to say about it.
Was it about material nature and...
I can't even remember.
I can't even remember. But yeah.
I can't remember, yeah.
Oh, about going out of your mind and into your body. What?
We have time, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Are we taking a
What's
break?
it?
Yeah.
We're taking a break now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just quit. Like trying to convince people about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
But it's
hard because
real.
you become preachy about it.
Yeah. Because it's real.
Right then, let's go.
What's up? I'm so cold.
Oh shit, I left the window open. Should we carry on?
Yeah.
You want me to close it?
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
Right. So,
Right, I was just saying before when we were taking a break here about this thing called MAPS in America. It's basically a collection of like clinical psychologists, researchers, and they're
killing it.
yeah they're killing it.
They're going
Yeah, they're basically using psychedelics to treat mental illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the last video I watched on it was them treating PTSD with cannabis,
Oh, wow.
and
Mm.
I think it was CDB, not like THC,
Yeah.
because THC.
For what's it called, that disease where you keep shaking? You just constantly shaking.
I think that's multiple sclerosis.
I can't remember what it's called, but
I
yeah.
know what one you're on about, where your hands are just shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You can't even talk and then you can't pick up stuff
Yeah,
and
so-
anything like
yeah.
what the guy takes like one syringe full of that CBD oil,
Yeah.
within 5
Oh,
minutes.
it's like
Canna-
seizures and
cannabinoids.
stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Cannabinoid, tetra something.
I don't know, man. But in 5
Yeah.
minutes, he's normal, he's calm, he's like getting munchies, he's
From
just chill.
from weed,
Yeah.
from cannabis.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a cannabis oil.
yeah,
Is it?
basically.
Yeah, I think that was for epileptic seizures.
as well. Yeah, I've seen some big stuff come out. You don't even need the oil. There's like this new rub kind of stuff come out. So there's a mother, a kid's having a fit, she's recording it.
Yeah.
And all it's like proper, it's not nice to look at.
I've seen it.
And she wipes like the oil kind of stuff on the bottom of his feet, and you give it like 4 minutes or something, and then he's calm again. But they're not only doing it with ganja, they're doing it with MDMA and psilocybin-based mushrooms to help. What are those patients called? Cancer patients that are apparently going to die.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit when a doctor says that to me. But yeah, they give them trips and they become happy again and just and like 10 out of 10 people. No, it wasn't 10. It was like 5 out of 10 people with the trip said it was the most like impactful, spiritual or best experience of their lives.
Yeah. So psilocybin.
Yeah, with psilocybin.
See, do you know what I think when it comes to that? I think that's why they make cannabis, aka weed, illegal. Because I think they know that people, when they take this stuff, when they have this stuff, something happens to their body. That makes them either calm down and get back to normal. Whereas in medically, they cannot make that person stop, but this one thing can. It's the same with people who suffer anxiety, depression. They can be treated with this thing because it makes them be happy, and they genuinely can get out of that depressive state because they can medically be guided to a point where they move out of depression. But this thing can help them. It can help cancer patients. I believe marijuana can cure cancer because there's been so many studies that have proved that have shown that cancer cells have died when there is marijuana.
Yeah.
They're like, but then at the same time I'm thinking, why make it illegal? When people smoke weed, they think on a deeper level.
People who are in control don't want thinkers though.
People in control don't want thinkers because they want everyone to stay in this same way of thinking where they're stuck in this same lifestyle. Because when you take that stuff, you are going to be thinking on a deeper level where you're thinking about life from a different perspective.
Thinking out of the box, that the alternate reality that they provided you with, and they also own the big guys at the top. They make peas off the pharmaceutical
And think about your senses as well. Your senses, you can hear everything. When you eat food, you taste that food and you know that food tastes good because you can taste every single thing in that food. When you touch something, when you listen to music, you feel every single bass. You feel every single thing in that music, every word. You feel everything. All because you're so uplifted and so happy, but yet they don't want people to be on that level where they're thinking and they're being... Because when you're in that state, you're creative. That's why most musicians, they'll smoke cannabis, they'll get high before they make their music because they know that when they're in that zone, they're more creative and they make the music that we're all listening to now, but they've made that music high. Some of the most successful people that we know today at some point have smoked cannabis. Barack Obama smoked cannabis and he was the president of the United States, but yet they say this thing is so bad. But yeah, it's
because they can't make money off it. It's harder to tax.
No, they make more money off it illegal than legal. Because if it's illegal, they know people want it because it makes people feel this way. So if it's illegal, you make it illegal. People want it. You catch the people selling it. You take all their money. It's now your money. But if you make it legal, that money is not yours. It belongs to that person because people are now getting basically everyone can now get it. Everyone can now be thinkers. Everyone can now get creative. For basically a cheaper price because you're not making profit from it because you're not the one selling it.
So the problem with that, it's capitalism basically. That's the problem.
I think they said decriminalise everything so they can help even more with it because like you don't know what you're getting because they could sprinkle anything on like the buds and the skunk and everything.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't like that kind of thing. I don't really trust people. So if I was going to try to get a draw, maybe you trust your dealer. Yeah. But I don't trust like the guy he got it off. How am I meant to trust the guy he got it off?
That's
how
true.
Do I know?
No, but then
I got some coke sprinkled on.
I suppose at the end of the day, it depends how much you really trust the person you're gonna pick up off in the first place. Do you trust that person to know that they trust in the person enough to get it off them to
Unless
know that
he's growing it himself.
Yeah.
But I don't know, he ain't got that off someone else.
That's true. You never know. You never know.
Build the trust there. So
Yeah.
you get to know him.
So if they kind of like decriminalised it and did like what Portugal have done, I think Portugal are killing it how they're going in. Like,
What are they doing?
They've decriminalised everything, absolutely everything.
Wow.
So there's more help and kind of education on how to use these things safely. And with heroin addicts, they've got people on the road, like say 2 people partnered up every day, walking around, giving people clean needles and taking their needles off them, disposing of them safely. And if they need help, they know they can ask that person for help. It's looking at them as actual people.
Yeah, instead of just drug addicts.
I know. I think like we should have sovereignty over our own mind and what we choose to.
What you choose to do, because at the end
yeah.
of the day, it's your body. It's the same as being pregnant. If a woman says she doesn't want to be pregnant, she can physically make the choice because it's her body to say, I will not get pregnant. But if she wants to get pregnant, she can physically make this choice and say, I want to get pregnant. But why say the same with people that want to drink? If you want to drink, it's your body. You have the right to say, I want to drink. You know the effects of drinking. You're aware. So if it's your choice, then if you want to drink, if you then choose, say, I don't want to drink, it's my body, I don't want to do that. That's also your decision. Because it's your body at the end of the day. You're not sharing your body with someone. You have your own mind, you have your own thoughts, you're in control of your body. No one controls your body for you but yourself, so why not do what you want to your body?
So what if you want to get a tattoo or something, but your mom says, no, you can't do that?
It's your choice. Out of respect for your mom, you can either decide not to get it, but if you really want to get it at the end of the day, she cannot physically hold you down and not make you not get it. Because if you really want that thing, you will get it. And you will go and get that. Because you know it's your body.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
I do tattoos, by the way. If you want it, put it out there.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Do you have any tattoos?
No.
So, but no, yeah, about decriminalizing everything, but there's people who are gonna be using like heroin, which is like, I don't exactly know what the positive benefits of using heroin
I think
are.
they should just like keep the very, very high class stuff illegal and just legalize only marijuana.
Yeah, but
Because there's more beneficials with marijuana for a lot of things than there is with things like cocaine and heroin and ecstasy and stuff.
But then we're seeing heroin addicts as like bad people, and we turn them not human. They're probably the reason why they're probably trying to use this escapism, because how much trauma and shit they've gone through, and we see them as a criminal when they're not. They're a person who is seeking help.
I think instead of encouraging them to keep doing it by giving them clean needles and stuff, we should actually give them actual help to help them get off this stuff. Because the more we give them clean needles, the more we're just going to keep taking. They're just encouraging them.
Yeah, but at least you're reducing the risk of HIV, is it? Or
but if you
that's a symptom of the problem.
If you have a dirty needle though, that enough should not make you want to take it. So, but if you know you have a clean one, you're going to want to take it. Whereas if you have a dirty one, in that moment you might think, oh, there is a chance I might get HIV. Let me not do it this one time till I get a clean needle.
But it's not like that. Heroin is a fucked up drug. You don't care if you found it in piss, shit or blood. It's a needle, you're gonna get your hit. And
it has to go in.
It's hard because you can't force these people. You can help, you can be there for them and help them, but you can't say no, we're taking you in. So don't work like that. You can take a horse to the fountain to drink the water, and this horse might die. But you can take it to that fountain. But if you don't want to drink that water, the horse is dead. You can't force him to drink the water. So we can't force these people to recover and stuff.
Yeah, there's another drug called peyote, and I think
cactus.
The cactus. Yeah, and they're using it to like cure heroin addicts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy how all of these things come out from God or nature. These natural like things are the healing of the nation.
Because God did say, let there be plants, and all these things grew. Marijuana grew. It wasn't put there by a person and they made it. It's a natural thing that grew from the earth. These plants that are helping people now they grew from the earth. So why should we not use these things to actually help people if it genuinely does help people? If it makes you happy, why not get happy? Why choose to stay sad and depressed when you know you can get happy from something natural?
Because man tries to become more powerful than God by influencing or trying to recreate these natural types.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. That's why you just don't do the stuff that's man-made. That's why you stick to the natural stuff. Yeah, because it's natural. It's not like it's fake. It's real. It's a real plant that naturally grows from the ground.
Yeah, and because those type of drugs are demonized, they fall under the same umbrella as marijuana as well.
I hate the word drug as well.
I hate the word drug. Oh my gosh. When people call marijuana a drug, I'm like, it's not a drug.
It's a medicine.
It's a medicine. It's a herb. It's not a drug. It's a natural herb.
What's the description of the word drug that you use now?
I think. Oh wait, biology. I think it's something that has an effect on your body.
And
chemically has an effect on your body. Let's Google it. That's where it was that for biology, but you know, I haven't done biology in a while.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right calling it a drug, but if it does have an effect on your state of consciousness.
Yeah, it says a medicine or other substance which has a psychological effect when ingested or otherwise introduced into the body. So something that basically has an effect on your body when you take it into your body. Physical effect. So it's like when you take paracetamol when you have a headache, that headache goes, that's a physical effect, it's gone. So paracetamol is a drug.
Do you think it's crazy how like some people be taking paracetamol, having cigarettes or drinking, and then they call you a druggie, you're smoking, you think that's mad?
I know.
When they're doing that shit, it's like, you want sugar?
That's
Sugar will still do that as well.
Yeah, everyone's hypnotized.
I know, it's madness, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because back in the day, the 1950s or something like that, how they was trying to make ganja seem bad. There was a news article, with a little kid, 10 years old, he had an axe, and it said like, marijuana made this kid kill his parents with an axe.
Really?
And it's like, what the fuck, really?
Yeah.
But like, when you're young, you don't...
Propaganda.
You could fall for that, you could be gullible because you don't know any of it else.
That's true. Because they do try to make it look really, really bad.
And they're also saying like, some people are claiming cannabis causes schizophrenia.
Yeah, I think
there's no evidence to support that.
I know, because they want to just make it look bad.
Yeah.
Because think about it this way, people like Bob Marley, people from years ago, these people were smoking cannabis on a daily basis, and none of these people have ever had these things. And these people probably start smoking from the age of like 10 for all we know, because it's there, they've grown up around it, it's normal. And they're smoking it till they're like in their 60s, 70s, 80s, but yet they've never had or experienced any of this stuff.
Yeah. What was that?
Nothing.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts on cannabis.
Have you heard about the Philippine president?
No.
And how he's handling the drug situation in the Philippines? He's basically made it a death penalty.
Whoa!
Yeah. If you're caught selling, you get killed. And he's encouraging the citizens to kill any.
What if you get caught buying?
By who?
Like what if you get caught buying?
Yeah, you get shot as well.
That's a bit deep.
And
because people
have died.
People are actually risking their lives for this. I don't think it's not that deep.
It's in Asia, they don't really look. They don't really have a good look on it. Yeah.
But then in other places like Holland, it's religiously worshipped, like in Hinduism as well. Like Lord Shiva, the destroyer. He's in his mythological tales. He's meant to have like a fountain that comes from these dreadlocks down to the river Ganges.
Really?
Down beside this river, it's supposed to be like the ganja plants.
Wow.
And he's seen like in pictures smoking ganja and like people worship him through making the sacrament of smoking.
People used to like put it in their food because they used to say they used to be so happy when they used to eat this, because they said they used to feel enlightened when they say it was like special food to be having like cannabis in your food that day, because it would make you feel so uplifted. That's crazy.
It's the food of the gods, isn't it?
God knows. Literally. Yeah.
So is that the reason why you got into psychology, to try going to the fields of helping be pro cannabis to help people heal with that?
No.
What was the reason why?
I wanted to go into psychology because I feel the modern ways of trying to heal people doesn't necessarily always work. And I'm thinking there's a reason why it works for some, but what about for those people that it doesn't work for? What about them? Because it doesn't always work for everyone. And I feel that instead of treating people in a way where you're making them feel and focus even more on the things that make them that way, why not make them focus on the things that they love? Or sit down and speak to them, understand them, say to them, yes, I understand your problem, tell me how do you feel, understand the reason behind why they feel that way, because there's always a reason behind something. For some other people, it could maybe they experienced the death of a parent when they were younger, and maybe they're in that state because they're hurting and they've never really healed, but they've never been allowed to heal because they've probably only been seeing maybe their mom or maybe one of their parents, one of the family members is not reacting well. They're constantly surrounded by this bad negative feeling of the grieving process, and it just stretches it out even longer. So with someone like that, I would sit with them, talk about that, but then I would make them speak about what they loved about that person.
Would they be under the influence?
No.
Whilst doing this? No.
I'll just sit down with them and ask them what they loved about this person, and I'll make them write a list of everything they loved about that person. Every day when they wake up and think about that person, I want them to look at that list, because there's no way they can look at that list of the characteristics they loved in that person and feel bad. They're gonna feel happy, and over time, the more and more they learn to understand that if they just change to think, I'm gonna focus on the positive side of this person. And then sometimes with people that die, it's because they're ill or something bad happens, you can be like, okay, yes, fair enough, they've died, but at least now they're no longer in pain. Would I rather have them here with me and be selfish enough to allow somebody and hold on to somebody and watch them suffer, or would I just allow them to rest in peace and just remember their memory, their good memory? And I think thinking like that would allow someone to heal. And I think with grieving, that's something that could genuinely change whether somebody gets into depression to a point where they're genuinely just depressed because they've lost someone, or to a point where their life doesn't stop and it does carry on, but they live with the memory of that person. It doesn't mean that person's forgotten, it just means you just choose to focus on the fact that you love that person and all the good things you did with them, instead of the fact that they're no longer with you, because that's not something you can control. So why focus on it? It's only going to make you feel bad. Whereas then you could think about something about that person that makes you feel happy. So once again, you have a choice for yourself whether you're literally going to be happy or be sad just from the way you think.
What other practices would you recommend for any listeners? Because that's a good one you could do there, isn't it? But for people who find it really difficult to be like that, because it's hard when you first start. I'm sure when you first started it was a bit more difficult.
Now it's easier to do it, because
it does get easier.
You've been doing it for a while.
It does get easier.
But just to help out ourselves and the viewers, what other practices could we suggest for them to do?
As weird as it's gonna sound right now, meditative. I went through a point where I was just bad, just bad things kept happening, and I knew that these things kept happening because of the way I was thinking. So I said to myself, I'm gonna take a moment every single day where I'm just in peace by myself and I concentrate on what I'm thinking, because sometimes in the day, you're not always aware of your thoughts because you're doing things, and without even realizing, you're then thinking about that thing that makes you angry, and you're focusing oh, did that really happen? You're just focusing on it. So in that moment, that peaceful 10-20 minutes a day, you just sit in peace and you focus on everything that you love, everything that you want, and you just see yourself with everything you want. And it's nice because you get a happy feeling, and after that you just naturally feel so relaxed and you feel good. You can go about your day and you can think about all these things that you love, that you just been thinking about, and before you know it, you start to attract these things. I have this car that I'm obsessed with. I'm not going to say what car it is because some people might be like, oh, why does she want that car?
Is it an Audi?
No, it's not. But I have this car that I've always said I want. And once I started to change my way of thinking, I never used to see this car. I constantly started to think about this car. When I used to meditate, I used to see myself driving this car. I used to see this car driving past me. And now all the time, I see this car everywhere. And even my best friend, literally now, she's like, oh, there's your car again. Oh, look, there's your car. It's everywhere that I go. But I'm thinking, why is it before I wasn't thinking about it? I was never attracting it to myself. But now that I'm thinking about it all the time and see it thinking, I really love this car, every time I see that car, I feel happy because I feel love for that car. So without even realizing it, I've given out a positive vibe already. I'm on that positive frequency because I've seen that car, and because of that, it keeps coming back to me. So I keep seeing more of it, so I keep getting happier and happier. So I constantly stay on this frequency. My friend tried it because she was thinking like, oh, you're crazy, like, well, whatever. So I said to her, you tell me your car, like you want to see yourself. And she told me her car. This car is rare, like you can barely see this car. And she said, oh, that's the car I want. I was like, okay. Every time I'm with her, every time we go out, I say to her, think about that car. And even when we're at home, I said, we just talk about her car, and she's like to me, oh, I want it like this, I want the seats this color. Because in that moment you're talking about that car, you're describing it, you're seeing it in your head, you're seeing yourself, you're seeing your dream car, you're feeling love, you're staying on that positive frequency.
You're paying attention to it.
And now we see this car all the time. Every time we go out, we see this car. And even when I'm out now and I'm not with her, I know I always see that car, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I saw your car today. And she's like, really? I'll be like, yeah. Because it's not a car that you see all the time. But because the fact that now we're thinking about it was somehow attracting it to us, that we constantly see it. And we see it in the weirdest of places. The weirdest of places. Or sometimes we just see it in the main road. And there's just normal cars, and then this car's just there, just in the middle of all, and it stands out because it's not a car you see every day. And just because all these cars that you just see, you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm seeing my dream car right now, and it's so close to me, simply because I've been thinking about it.
And that's why meditation helps you.
So yeah, gratification, meditation, and vision.
Visualization is the key, but I think the main thing is gratitude, because you can never, if you give something out of hate, without even realizing you've given off a frequency of hate, you're going to get that back. When you give with love, you receive. Everywhere, like most holy books always say you should give to receive. The Bible says it, loads say, because these people from far long back that have been writing these books know that to receive, you generally have to give. And when you give out of love, you receive back. Like when I go out sometimes, I always say I always have enough money. I tell myself that. I'll look at my bank account, I don't even care how much it's now, I'll always have enough money for today. And sometimes I just walk past a homeless person and I say, do you know what? I have enough money to give some money to this guy right now and still go and do what I need to do with the rest of the money. So I will stop, because I'll walk past that person and I will stop and think that, because I'm thinking I'm taking a moment right now to actually receive back. Because right now I'm blessing someone, and because I'm blessing someone else, I'll get blessed back, and I'm doing it out of love because I genuinely want to help that person.
Yeah, I think
so I will stop.
Pure. It's your intention as well, isn't it? If you're just doing it to receive, I spoke to Twyma about this, like with my mum or something. Shit, I said it now. Yeah. So I said I wasn't going to say who it was.
Oh.
But she'd buy me something, and then tell me you owe me so and so money. She wasn't just giving with the intention of knowing I couldn't give anything back.
No, there's a difference, because if you think about it, when you give to a homeless man,
You know they
can't give you back, but naturally, because when you do that, you feel good, because you've given off that good feeling. The universe will give you something back. That's not something, you don't know what that coming back thing's gonna be, but because you've generally done that out of love. If you give to a rich man and they give you £1 million back, that's a different thing, because you're giving, because you know you're benefiting out of it as well. Whereas in someone who generally you know has nothing and cannot give you anything back, and you feel for that person, then you say, I'm gonna help this person because I have enough to do that.
You rise by lifting others.
You've blessed that person. Even if it's like buying them a sandwich, just giving it to them. You don't have to give them money, but through that action, you've done that out of your thoughts. So I remember at Christmas once, I stopped, I saw a homeless man. For some reason, I just felt for him, because it was around Christmas. I had like £20, I was meant to be buying Christmas gifts. I just felt in me to go and just buy him something. I bought him a drink, some biscuits, you know those little Christmas biscuits, and they're like, well, cute. And I just went back, I was like, Merry Christmas. And he just cried. And I was thinking, please don't cry, like, I don't know what to do if you cry, because I really need to go. I just think you should have this. And you're just like, God bless you. And without even realizing it, someone's saying that to you, they've blessed you. And it's like most people, when they bless other people, they just like bless you because they've sneezed. Naturally, I think you should always naturally be trying to bless people. Even saying to someone, bless you, naturally, you've given a positive vibe towards that person, and they will be blessed simply because you've said that. And without even realizing it, maybe something good that's going to happen to me could be a result of that man simply saying to me, God bless you, because I decided to just, it wasn't even expensive, but I decided to give him that thing, and it meant so much to him. I could receive something so much bigger because I took that moment.
Yeah, you can't put money on that. They're the best things in life. Really.
You just, exactly, but you never know, because he was a homeless man. He's not going to somehow come and give me money and repay me for that. He can't do that. He was a homeless man. But whether or not I get something out of it is the fact that my intentions when I did it were to feel good. And I felt good, and I still feel good the fact that I did it. So naturally, I'm always staying on that positive frequency. And it's just good to feel good. I don't see why people...
Right thing. Yeah. Abraham Lincoln said something about what his religion was, and it was just like, if I do good, I feel good. If I do bad, I feel bad. Yeah. And that's it, basically.
Literally. When you do good, you feel good. And the thing is, good things will start happening to you without even realizing, because you're constant, and you start thinking, whoa, why is all these good things happening to me? The fact that I'm here right now is a result of me constantly thinking about different ways of how people live life. And somehow I've attracted this specific meeting to myself, because that's all I've been thinking about over the past few weeks. It's all I've been thinking about, and somehow I happen to meet this guy to be talking about the one thing I'm constantly thinking about.
It's amazing how it works, isn't it? And when you actually have enough awareness to observe it working, and it just blows your mind. You can't put it into words.
You become more aware, and when you feel good, you notice the tiniest. The other day, I was sitting in a park. I just felt good. I woke up, I felt good that day. I felt good the day before. And out of nowhere, we saw this little squirrel with a carrot.
Sorry, the camera cut off again.
That's cool.
Let's put it back on. You know how you said like how we need to know certain things in the world though, the news. I don't feel like I do, you know, because from like the years I've been on the planet. The years I've been on the planet, it's all been fucking negative. So I don't need to know negative shit that's going on. I don't need to watch it because Paul or Phil or whatever you want to call him, he's going to tell me about it. And while he's trying to tell me about this fucking war, this bomb and this, that, and I'm just thinking in my head, shut up.
Because that's gonna ruin your day, because that's gonna have a negative impact on you, because you're thinking bad things about this thing without even realising you're already on that bad frequency already.
They're all on that same level, and then that's how they start conversation. How are you going to start conversation?
And people sit there, the thing is, people sit there and talk about the bad news without even realising they're talking more and more and more about the things they don't want. So what they just keep attracting more and more events of the things they don't want.
It's like a snowball rolling down a mountain, but you've got like 7 billion people helping push this snowball so it gets bigger and bigger. I know it's a controversial subject because there are bad things in the world and stuff like that, but there is a certain point where you're like, I need to govern my mind from all this, otherwise I'm just going to fall victim to the the collective governor of all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there, so it's just
Too much.
what you choose to focus on.
There's too much information
Yeah.
and too less action.
Yeah.
Because information is action manifested into actual information or
Yeah.
creation.
It's because a lot of people think something, but they never do it. A lot of people will say, I really want to start a business. Okay, you really want to start a business? Cool, what kind of business? I really want to be a fashion designer. Cool. What have you been doing about it? Nothing. What are you going to do about it? Oh, nothing, I'm still thinking about it, like, I'm not sure because it's a lot of money, it's too expensive to start a business. Straight away, they're already on that wave. So naturally, that business for them is going to be too expensive for them to do it because they've already declared it as it's too expensive. Why not say, it's going to be so easy for me to start this business, I'm so excited. Every time I think about it, I'm just so happy. Just talk about it all the time, I'm going to do this, we're going to do this. What's stopping you from getting that if you're so sure and definitely believe?
Success barriers.
Yeah.
I did it for a long time. I was always talking about how I'm going to do this and that and that. But then one day I just got so fed up with myself. I started actually doing it, and I think that's the main point where people don't get past. They obviously sit on the
people
fence,
just stay in their
think about it, or
thoughts.
some people actually jump out. When they start actually seeing progress happening, then that's where it's at.
It's like when people hate on rich people, that really annoys me. When people are like, rich people did evil things to get their money, rich people are liars, rich people scam people, Bill Gates not legit. Yeah, but I'm thinking,
Well, they got rich parents.
I'm thinking, look back at where this person has come from and tell me at which point did they do anything. These people have worked hard. Like, some people, they were homeless. They've gone and they've told themselves, I am now going to do this. And that's all they've focused on. And they have done that and then they've got rich. They didn't choose to stay in a state where they're focusing on the fact they're homeless or they're broke or that their wives left them or anything like that. They've just decided to focus on what they want. And in the end, if you think about it, they've got what they want and now they live this lavish lifestyle and people try to say, they don't deserve it, they've done this, they've done that, when really it's just because people have decided to move themselves from a box and expand their way of thinking and look. Because when you look for ideas, they come to you because naturally you'll just keep seeing ideas everywhere. You'll be thinking, wow, I can do this with that. And those ideas will start coming to you. More opportunities to do what you want to do will start coming to you without you even realizing it, simply because you've genuinely believed and said, that is what I am going to do.
You have to ask more powerful questions to yourself as well. Like, pause the chatterbox mind going on about all these reasons why you can't do that, or why you're ugly, or why blah blah blah. Go back to the innocence of your child, that sort of genius imagination type.
Just be creative, and I believe there's nothing too big to do. Because if you look back from years and years ago, having a phone would have been too big to do. Someone saying to you, you can hold a device and speak to someone across the world, people would have been like, you're crazy, that's impossible. But because you've genuinely believed, I can do that. These people have done that. People have believed, I can make cars where you can travel from place to place, and people have made cars, and now look at all these sports cars that we have, simply because someone in their head had a vision of an object that they believed could transport people. Same with planes. Someone saying we can fly and move from different place to place using the sky like a bird. Years and years ago, that would have sounded crazy. They would have been like, people would have been discriminated for this kind of stuff. They would be like, you're crazy, what are you thinking? But because of that person's crazy thinking, we can now fly and travel all across the world using planes. It's literally that simple. What you think?
Creative people as well, aren't they?
Everyone's creative.
And maybe they started thinking them crazy things because they weren't focusing thinking on the wars and the shit that was going on. They were thinking outside the collective approach to things. That's about time. That's about the time I got left now. But do you want to like read any of your quotes or have like a last word? Just something to finish on. I know you like be positive, so that's what I'd like. I said that from the beginning. At the end of the podcast, I wanted something positive, but we've been sticking to it. So
I'll just read this one because it's the only one that I've just seen. Okay. Nothing can come into your experience unless you summon it through your persistent thoughts.
Shebang.
That's it.
Nice, dope. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
If you wanna follow Shingi, or where can they follow you and find you online?
Here. That's my Snapchat, and that's my Instagram.
We're done.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for watching, guys. Comment, like, subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Much love.
Have a good life and stay blessed.
Stay blessed.